Then. Awesome. Here we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another session of Wealth Whispers. And today we are going to be talking with the lovely Vicky about everything around emotional intelligence and how that is going to help you build or is going to break your well building efforts. Okay, so if you've not come across me before, my name is Anwin Ba, business wealth strategist and founder of Wealth Fluency, and I help business women turn their revenue generating business into a six-figure wealth building vehicle in 90 days. And as you can see through this series, we talk all about building wealth, protecting wealth, and also transferring wealth in the most authentic way and tax efficient way possible. So Vicky, please do introduce yourself.
Hello there. Well, thank you very much for the invite to join you. I'm Vicky Henderson. I'm based in the UK. My business is called Ascend Performance Coaching, and I specialise in the area of emotional intelligence. So all of my coaching is focused on mindset and your emotional intelligence and how that will impact not only the way you show up in your personal life, but it has a huge impact on your professional life. And if you're a business owner, on how successful your business is going to be.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. After reading investors' behavior, you know, a lot of how people invest and how they make decisions in their business usually kind of stems out of that. So then let's start off with the massive thing that is COVID. And from what you have seen then, how can we now start preparing ourselves actually as business owners to embrace this new sphere?
So what's been really interesting during COVID is that it's been such a radical change in our lives that it's almost like going through grief. We're mourning for the life that we had before the mayhem started in March or earlier than March, wherever you are in the world. And we've had to make these radical overnight changes, and it's very challenging to our emotional intelligence. So people with high levels of emotional intelligence will have weathered that change much better, whereas other people will have gone through a whole cycle of anger and fear. And some people may still be going through that because we all process it at different paces. So when you have a trauma and your emotional intelligence becomes impacted, you don't make decisions as well, and you don't manage life as well as you would have. So as we move out of this now and we kind of adapt to what the new normal looks like, then we need to be working on our emotional intelligence. We need to be aware of how we're feeling. We need to be aware of the impact that's having on us and the people around us and our business. And we need to then start working on that to improve it so that it's not holding us back long term.
So from that then, can you kind of tell us a bit more as to what is emotional intelligence? Like if we think about the normal IQ, I normally start thinking about the Mensa tests and so forth.
Yeah.
When it comes to emotional intelligence, like what is it? Like what's a tangible thing that we can say, oh, okay, this deciphers our emotional intelligence?
Okay, so your IQ that you were just talking about is generally fixed from about the age of 15. So according to Mensa, your score won't fluctuate that much after about the age of 15 or 16. You can, of course, become more intelligent, as in you will learn more information. So it's not going to stop you learning, but it's the way it's measured. So that fixes. So that's not going to change for very much for most of your life. You will still learn and grow, which is absolutely fantastic. And you will still add skills and knowledge. But skills and knowledge only account for 15% of your success in life. What Dale Carnegie found out was that the other 85% of your success comes down to your attitude, and most of that's emotional intelligence. So like your IQ, your emotional intelligence, you can have an EQ score. Mm-hmm. But the great thing about your EQ or your emotional intelligence is it's dynamic. So it can change, which means that we can work on it. So what are we working on? There are 4 aspects to emotional intelligence. The first one is called self-awareness, or self-recognition. And that's being able to identify how we are feeling at any given time. I'm just going to give you a hint. I'm good, I'm bad, and I'm fine, and I'm okay are not emotions. 36% of the population can tell you how they're feeling at any given time. The rest of the population can't, or they will find it very, very difficult. So bear that in mind. If you find it's difficult to identify how you're feeling and put a name on it, you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there. So that's the first thing. Do you recognize your emotions, and can you say, I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling euphoric, or I'm feeling peeved, or I'm feeling frustrated? A lot of people wouldn't necessarily come up with that immediately. So that's the first thing. The second thing is then, once you can acknowledge how you're feeling, once you can recognize your emotions, it's how you manage them. And it's really around how you manage your negative impulses and your negative emotions. That's the really important bit, because being unemotionally intelligent is something happening and you flying off the handle and getting really angry and aggressive towards somebody and not thinking about it, or an email arriving and being a keyboard warrior. That's not being emotionally intelligent and not having emotional self-management. Emotional self-management is about saying, I'm feeling really angry, but I'm just going to step away from this email and the technology, have a cup of tea, think about it, calm down, write a reply, read the reply back and say, how do I feel if that reply landed in my inbox? If you would feel angry or frustrated or anything else, don't send it, and just rise above the other person if they've said something that's maybe not appropriate or has annoyed you. And it's all about being able to manage those emotions effectively. It's not going to stop you having the emotion, but it's about you being able to say, I'm feeling angry, fine, but how can I deal with this in a constructive and positive way to move forward and get what I want? Because that's essentially why we feel angry. It's because we don't get what we want. So that's the second part. Once you've got that sorted, you can do the third part, which is your social recognition or your social awareness. Is, are you aware of other people's emotions? Can you work out those little nuances in other people that will help you judge how to communicate with them better and how they're feeling, and whether you need to see, for example, you say good morning to somebody and they go, oh, rather than going, oh my God, what did I say? They're so rude, rah, rah, rah. If you're emotionally intelligent, you'll stop and you'll say, oh, is everything okay today? You don't seem as bright as you usually are. And, actually push it forward and pick up on that emotion. So it's a lot about empathy, but there's a whole load more to it than that as well. And then the last area is your sort of social management, which is how you show up in a social setting, whether that's in your relationship with your partner, with your kids, your family, or with your colleagues and work and in your business. And then in the wider world with your community and your clients. So there's those 4 different areas. So it's very complex emotional intelligence, but once you start to work on it, you can get some really great results very quickly.
That's a really, really good breakdown in regards to the 4 different areas to kind of focus on, to kind of bring it a bit more to life and make it more tangible in regards to, okay, how do I up my emotional intelligence? And you basically saying that then brings us to where we are now and where the focus would be in those 4 categories around emotional intelligence. And I kind of feel it was 3 and 4 where a lot of the strain would be, with where the world is currently, especially as business owners. There's a lot of uncertainty in regards to what is happening with your investment portfolio. Are you going to be able to, open your business again? And actually, other people actually thrived during COVID. And right now it's more, can we keep it up when everybody then is back to work? Because right now it's a smaller pond, so to say. But when everybody's back to work and everything opens back up again, can I sustain that profitability that I saw during COVID? So how can you basically make sure that you're still on top of the game emotionally so that you do not fall through the crack?
So I think the first thing is to really work on your emotional recognition and your awareness. So actually to take some time in your day and reflect on how you're feeling and what impact that's had on your performance that day. And there is a direct correlation between the level of emotional intelligence that you have and the amount of wealth, success, and money that you will make. So a lot of research has been done. There's some great article on Forbes about this, where there's actually now a thing called financial emotional intelligence. And it's about how you think about money, how you manage those situations. And actually, the more aware you are of how you're feeling about it. So, for example, a business that's hugely contracted and is really in not a great place, that person's approach to risk may have been impacted emotionally. They may now have fear attached to actually maybe taking a risk or making an investment, because are they going to get the return on them investment? But is that holding your business back? Do you need to just say, I just kind of need to take this risk in order to move forward? And that's probably one of the biggest things we're seeing at the moment, is businesses becoming risk averse, where they need to be actually getting out there a little bit. And also saying, I've always done it this way, so I'm going to stay this way. Well, no, look, reflect, ask for feedback from your peers, from your clients, from your colleagues, from your business partners, and say, is this going to work long term? Do we need to completely change the goalposts, the goals? What is the new reality like? And actually take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, am I holding the business back by the way I'm feeling at the moment? Or my partners, or my relationships? Because what's going on in the home, if you've maybe lost a partner or a relative to COVID, you've been ill, somebody else has been really badly impacted by it, all of that's going to have an impact on how you show up. And then that's going to have an impact on your business. The whole thing is linked. So it very much comes down, I would say, reflect, sit and reflect, be totally honest with yourself. I did a post about this on LinkedIn, and say, right, what do I need to learn? What doesn't work? What does work? And get some feedback from another perspective to check that you're not going to make a decision based on your emotions, because you're so focused on the problem that you can't see the solutions and possibilities.
Oh, yeah. Reflection. Easier said than done.
Yes.
It is definitely easier said than done. We definitely get caught up in our feelings quite a bit, for better, for worse. That's just human nature. It's more up to us to kind of navigate that, as you said. So then, to kind of close this off, what is the one thing that we should do as business owners to make sure that our EQ is on par to still help us build wealth?
I think the most important thing at the moment is to stay out of other people's stuff. Don't get dragged into conspiracy theories and the media hype and all of this stuff. Focus on you and your goal. You can't change what's happening in the world. There's no point getting stressed, angry, or annoyed about it. What the press is doing, what the government's doing, what other people are doing, you're wasting your energy. Focus your energy on yourself and what you can influence, and that's your business and where it goes as it moves forward. And that will take quite a lot, because you have to manage your emotions so you're not impacted by what's happening externally. Look at what you can influence, stay calm, and really focus on your own goals and where you're going. That would be my prime piece of advice moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard to kind of look inwards, especially me focusing with business women. There's this instinctive everybody else than me.
No.
So you actually say,
time to be a bit selfish.
Exactly. Guys, time to be selfish, okay? That is emotional intelligence, being selfish.
Yeah, it's about, as long as if your emotional cup is filled, you can fill other people's, but if yours is empty, you can't. You can't share from an empty vessel. So
absolutely, like time immemorial kind of proverb. So Vicky,
yes.
Where can we find you? Where can we follow up and get more information about basically understanding our emotional intelligence and impacts our wealth building efforts, our business, our community, our families? Where can we find you?
So I'm on LinkedIn under Vicky Henderson, Emotional Intelligence Expert. You'll find me on LinkedIn and Facebook under my name, Vicky Henderson, but also Ascend Performance Coaching. And my website is ascendperformancecoaching.com. There you will find some free taster sessions on the front page if you're tempted to find out a little bit more about how it works. And you'll find lots of information about tools that I can help you use to measure your emotional intelligence, find out your strengths, where your areas for development are, so you can really focus on what you need to be developing in order to move yourself to that next level. So yeah, feel free to reach out. I'd love to have a chat.
Awesome. Yep, that is all going to be available in the description of this video so that you are able to totally link up with Vicky and, you know, throw some questions at her, make use of the free resources. They're amazing and they really get you thinking and really put you instead to that direction of really being on top of your emotions and not your emotions being on top of you. So that is it for this session of Wealth Whispers. Thank you very much, Vicky, for gracing us with your presence and your wealth of knowledge. We really appreciate you. And guys, remember the 4 things in regards to your emotional intelligence and how to basically understand what is going on with you so that you understand what you can do more for your business. And when you do, then you can also build more wealth. So thanks again, Vicky. Thanks everyone joining us. If you have any questions, drop it down below. Make sure you share this large and wide and make sure you subscribe as well. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day and I'll catch you on the next session of Wealth Whispers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.